And they call me warrior. They call me loyalty. And they call me...
Okay, so I told you earlier when somebody's got in your bubble and you have your hands up that they have to go to the outside to get to your face, right? Or they can't get to your face because the hands are in the way, but they can wrap around the outside. The thing though is, when I go to the outside on Sandra, her hair is available to me. And if I get her by the hair and I start to yank her around by the head, even though I've come here and I'm starting to pull her around, she can start hitting my face, right, with both hands. But I can still manipulate her little head. And when I started to pull her head off to the side, backwards, forwards, any of this, her head and spine become out of alignment, and her shots are no longer very strong. None of us hit very hard when our head's yanked off to the side, okay? So what she needs to do from that position, when I've got a hold of her hair, all right, is grab my arm, to make my arm part of her. So when I do this, right, to grab her hair, she's coming up over, all right, on the same side arm, okay? And notice she's got a grip here, okay, at the elbow, anywhere on the forearm, wherever she can grab in here. The bicep would be less ideal, all right? But now with her elbow high, she's now taking her elbow low. And her grip is, for lack of a better term, kind of like a pipe wrench, right? A pipe wrench will grab something and then as it turns down, get tighter, okay? So I'm not just grabbing and allowing my knuckles to rotate with it. I'm grabbing, and my knuckles I want to be almost in the same position on her arm, and that starts to twist her bones in there, which makes that grip way stronger. So now she's done that to me. She's twisted the bones inside my arm. So now when I go to yank her head around, right, I'm moving her whole body instead, okay? So her head and spine get to stay in alignment, all right? So her head and spine are in alignment, okay? I'm not yanking her head all over the place. I can try to move her, but now her strikes are still more powerful. Boom, all right? She hits here, boom, 1, 2, 3, then shoves my head back, right? Her fingers can come down here. Notice my hips have come forward, all right? She has good access to my groin now, all right? She's gonna keep delivering strikes until I've let go of her hair. She can push me away now, boom, and escape. Remember from our ground defense, she's always trying to get out, up, and away. Now from our standing defense, she's still trying to get out of my grip and away. Good. Right. So got your hair. Listen. Hold me there for a second.
Okay.
Do it again. Just keep filming.
Okay.
Harder. Yes. So let's start again.
Okay.
Do it like that.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because in real life, you're going to have to hit me that hard to get me to let go.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to make the groin shot that hard.
Okay.
But 3 hits, 1, 2, 3, third one. Head back, head's back, groin comes forward. Groin comes forward, throw that knee strike, again, not 100%.
Yeah, no.
And then get out of here.
Do I want to do it with the opposite hand and run away, or does it matter?
It's not going to matter. So
Okay.
if you come here, right, look, I've got you. That hand's coming up, right? You're locking that hand down, so I can no longer pull your head around. So the elbow comes down, right? Till now we're locked. Bam, bam, bam. Drive, strike, go. Now just get out of here.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Ready? I got your hair. Good.
Okay.
Okay, so something else an attacker could do is have your head or your hair, right, and just yanking you down by both of these. If your hands weren't up to defend, right, and I was able to surprise Sandra, and I just had her head down, I'm yanking her hair, I'm doing kind of all this stuff, all right, she's got to do something to get me to stop doing this, because if I control her head, I control her body. If I turn her to the side and start to go down, all right, now she's going to end up falling to the ground. She's going to have this big, heavier stronger attacker on top of her. All right, so everything just got worse. Remember, we never want to go to the ground with our attacker, even though we've done a whole series on how to fight from the ground and to get out, up, and away. I don't want to take the fight to the ground if the person is bigger and stronger than me. Okay, so what she's going to do is I have her head yanked down. She's going to come across with her forearm and do the same ratcheting grip that she already learned every time she grips me, right? She's got a thumbless grip, and she's going to ratchet her arm down, all right? That gives her a strong grip here. She's going to blade off to me and turn her hips to the side a little bit. That's going to allow her to now start to push my head away, okay? If she pushes my head away, she's now going to Pez dispenser my head by pulling her arm back and then down. That kind of locks me in. That gets my head and neck out of alignment and gets my hips forward. From this position, she can now kick the back of my leg that I have all my weight on and continue that downward momentum. All right, so this time we're going to show you what it looks like a little faster when she takes me down all the way to the ground. Okay, so boom, I have her head here, right? She comes up, she makes her grip. Boom, she turns, she starts to push my head away. Boom, starts to push. Boom. All right, and she takes me to the ground. Let's show you what it looks like from the other side. So as we come here, I have her head down, right? She doesn't want me yanking her, so she's going to come. She's going to grab, she's going to ratchet down, boom. Her hand is going to come and turn, push my face away, cut my jaw. If she cuts my jaw, her arm is going to go parallel to the ground and then perpendicular down. If she pulls down, she kicks my leg, and I fall down to the ground. Now, she has the ability to get away. All right? Several techniques to kind of get out of that head clinch or hair pull from there. That's just one of my favorite ones that I'd like to share with you. So, ladies, right now I want to talk about some of the other techniques that are out there that work really well in combat sports, especially when guys are going against guys, but are sometimes less effective when we're dealing with a person that has hair, when there's no rules involved, or when one person is significantly bigger and stronger than the other person. So if Sandra and I are paired up against each other, and she does something like a single collar tie, right? Well, it's usually pretty easy for me to just throw my opposite side arm as I control this arm, boom, like a hook, and clear that hand off. And now I have a way to take her to the ground, do a Russian. However, I don't have a lot of hair. Sandra has a lot of hair. So that same technique of me grabbing her, throwing this arm across, right, trying to clear that hand, is not going to work because she's got hair. So I can kind of, it's not slipping off a bald head or somebody with a little bit of hair. I still have a handful of hair, so it's not going to be the same type of technique. It's not going to be as effective because I can still kind of pull her around by that hair from that technique. Although I love that technique, I use it a lot in jiu-jitsu, all right? It is something to consider when we're dealing with ladies. Also, when we're kind of in that head clinch or that Muay Thai clinch, all right, one of the common ways to get out of it is to turn my shoulders in, come back up, turn my other shoulder in, come back up, and now pull her down. Now she's in my clinch, which is a great way to repummel the head clinch. However, if I've head clenched Sandra and she tries to rotate her shoulders in to get to my head, right, to repummel her clinch, right, you got to remember, I'm bigger and stronger than her. This is going to be way more difficult to do than if we're the same strength or in the same weight class, all right? And it's not a real natural movement for ladies that don't train wrestling or Muay Thai often. So for self-defense, it is more difficult to pull off because we're dealing with bigger, stronger attackers. Again, there's several ways to kind of get out of the head clinch. The reason I like that one for the ladies is because we're manipulating the other people's heads. one more that I really like to do is when somebody's got me clenched down low, right, boom, and I'm trying to get out of this, I will take one of my legs and step in between their legs as I change level, boom, and I'll take my head and I'll drive it into them and then break their posture. From here, I can push them down. However, when I do this, when we're really training, I often end up on top of the person because they've held on to me at some time. What I don't want to do, again, I would use that one if it's the worst case scenario. I love doing that takedown when I'm training and going with other guys. However, for ladies to do that, right, is I'm here, okay, and she takes one leg and puts it in between my leg, right, and now she takes both her hands and wraps them behind my waist, okay, pull in hard and drive in. Again, I'm bigger and stronger than her, so I'll probably just be able to do enough pressure to keep her out with just my forearms, right? And unless she was a wrestler before or done a lot of Muay Thai or some other combat sports, it's not an easy technique for her to perform if she hasn't done this a lot before. And if she does start to drive her head in, get your hands all the way around my waist, start to pull me in, boom, and drive forward, there's a good chance I'm going to pull her down on top of me. If I pull her down on top of me as we go down to the ground, now she's going to have to deal with some of that ground fighting stuff. Even though she's on top, she's still got a bigger, stronger person with her hands around her. That's why I kind of like that other technique where she simply secures my arm, pushes my head away, and uses it to pez dispenser my head, keep my legs out from underneath me. It puts me on the ground and leaves her standing. I didn't have a chance to pull her down to the ground with me, all right, or control her, keep a hold of her